Hello, everyone. Welcome, teachers, parents, librarians. I am Chris Evans. I'm a teacher at Orange Coast College, and I am thrilled to invite everyone to join the second annual S.T.E.A.M Race to Space Reading Challenge, which begins today. In conjunction with the Orange County Department of Education, the Four Space Company, and the Orange County Children's Book Festival, the race begins now. Just for reading some amazing books, you can win cool prizes, passes to the San Diego Zoo or the Safari Park, Amazon Lego gift cards, a Chromebook, even story time, and a prize package with one of our authors we're going to meet today. Most importantly, you'll learn how science, technology, engineering, and the arts and mathematics can lead to a rewarding career, help us figure out important problems that we face, and solve those problems. So join us on the race to space. After today's event, your teachers can show you how to visit the website and register for this amazing adventure. So let's blast off by talking to some inspiring writers, teachers, and scientists. First, we are joined by Karyn Parsons. You will probably recognize her as Hilary Banks from her role in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But she's also the founder and producer of the award-winning children's animated films, Sweet Blackberry, which celebrates the contributions and the stories of unsung Black heroes in history. And she's also the author of numerous books, including How High the Moon, Flying Free, and Saving the Day, the Garrett Morgan life-changing invention of the traffic signal. Karyn, welcome.
Thank you very much. It's really good to be here, and I'm really excited to be here at S.T.E.A.M Race to Space.
I am excited to talk to you as well, too. It's such a great book. You have done so much work on television, on film, but I'm curious. Let's take a step back even further. How did you become a reader first?
Oh, a reader first. I started reading really early. I was an only child, and so my mom said that that I was reading when I was really, really little, and got me into school a little earlier than she would have, just because she said you just wanted to read. So we did it. But what ended up contributing to my love of it even more, I mean, I was curious and I was doing it from a very young age. But what I think it probably got really solidified when my mother became a librarian. When I was probably in the third grade, she became a librarian, or started working the library system, and then would become a librarian. And so as an only child, I spent hours upon hours in the library, and as the librarian's daughter, I got to get more books than most people. So I take big stacks home, and but I got to really explore all ends of the place, all sorts of interests, and I had plenty of time on my hands to just dig in and get lost in these other worlds, and which I think contributed so much to me into later on becoming an actor, because it was storytelling and characters again, and now a writer.
That is like being given a magic ticket. All the books you want from a library. Oh, wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, it is. I have the most fond sensory memory of it. Whenever I think back to being there and what it felt like inside the library, it's so clear to me what it felt like when I was a kid, and the sense of wonder, and it was quiet and it was just so mysterious. And every time I opened something up, it was like you were entering a whole new, a different kind of mystery. Totally, everything's so different from everything else. And it was fun. It was good. I mean, I'm still, I'm the person. It's like, you got to kill some time, drop me off at the library,
I'll meet you there. That sounds wonderful. Speaking of sort of being dropped into this wonderful sort of storytelling mystery, you have a couple of books before we talk about Garrett Morgan. I will say, and it's perhaps for a slightly older age group, but
Yes.
How High the Moon
Yes.
is a brilliant, lovely, beautiful book.
Thank
and I
you.
really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much.
It is an absolute treat. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
It meant a lot to me doing that. It was, it was inspired by my mother's growing up in the Jim Crow South, which she always talked about as, oh, my childhood was so great. It was so happy. And it wasn't until I was, at some point in my adulthood that I went, wait a minute, that was a Jim Crow South, segregated South. You have to tell me more. And I wanted to write to find out how that was true and how that was so. And I did. I ended up between talking to her and exploring further what it would be like to grow up at that time as an 11-year-old girl. I saw how community has such a big impact on all of us still, so that, to this day, but how important that is in shaping our children.
Well, I thought it was a beautiful book.
Thank you.
I teach children's literature here at Orange Coast College, and I may have to use it on my syllabus next semester.
I
It was
hope you
really,
will. I hope
really
you
stuff.
will.
Thank you. Well, before we get to the Garrett Morgan story, I want to mention your other book as well too. So, Bessie
Yay!
Coleman, uh, wow, what an inspiration! Can you tell us a little bit about this? Because she is amazing.
She is
Everyone should
amazing.
know her story.
That is the truth. And that's what happened. I started my organization, the Sweet Blackberry. It's a nonprofit organization that these books are Sweet Blackberry books. And I wanted to tell little known stories in Black history that you just don't hear about. Heroes, people who overcame incredible challenges and obstacles, and went on to do great, great things, which I think is an important lesson for kids. And when I started it, I loved Bessie Coleman's story. I was excited by her story, but I started seeing things here and there about her. And I thought, maybe she doesn't fit under the little known thing. Maybe there's more out here about her than I realized. But whenever I would talk about her to people, they always said, "Oh yeah, Bessie Smith. I know who that is." And I was like, no, 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 no. That's the singer. I'm saying Bessie Coleman, the pilot. And this happened and over and over. And I thought, you know what? People need to know. Even if there are things out there, I want more people to know about this woman who inspires me so much. This is the first Black female aviator. She got her pilot's license before Amelia Earhart, who we know everything about. No one she was half Cherokee, or I think a quarter Cherokee, and African American, and nobody in the United States would teach her how to fly because she was a woman and she was this woman of color. So she got sponsorship. This is back in 1920. Crazy, and people knew so little about flight, but she was so brave that she got sponsorship, and she took a boat to France, learned the language, went over and spent months and months learning how to fly, because there they would teach a woman how to fly, a woman of color to fly. Came back a hero. And to me, long after I finished writing the book, I had her picture up on my computer desktop, because whenever I see her face, she inspires me and reminds me of what I'm capable of. And I hope she does that for kids when they read this book.
Everyone needs to go get this book and read it. You will love it. And she is a hero and an inspiration. And I'm so glad you shared her story. And we all need to know her story.
I agree.
We also have another really amazing hero as well, too, in Garrett Morgan.
Yes.
Please tell us who Garrett Morgan is. Who is he? What did he do?
Garrett Morgan is one of these incredible people out there who invented so many things we take for granted every day, little things in our lives. But one of the things, what I wanted to cover in the book, which I think is really important, especially for our young readers, is he's the inventor of the traffic signal that we rely upon. There have been different incarnations of the traffic signal, but like for instance, there's the red, yellow, green. His mechanism that operates that red, yellow, green, most importantly, the yellow, instead of just going stop, start, stop, start, he came up with that mechanism that we use to this day, not the colors themselves, but the actual, he thought that through and realized the importance of it and came up with that. And I think it's amazing that a man who, when things were so difficult for Black people at that time in this country, was able to still figure out how to draw that up and to successfully patent it and get this machine out there that we use to this day and we rely so much upon, but we often don't think about where it came from and who may have come up with it or why. The things that he encountered that made him say something has to be done about this. And that's really what the story of the Saving the Day story has to do with, is somebody who really wants to help, but having a hard time focusing their creative energy, and they're kind of all over the place. But when he finally is able to kind of hone it all in, and I think we all know someone like that who's got lots of energy and is going all over and wants to help. But if he could bring it in and focus it, he was able to do really incredible things.
Well, I know you're saving our day by introducing us to this book. Do you mind reading a little bit from it? Because it's beautifully written.
I'd love to. It also has incredible illustrations, which I would love to share, by the illustrator R. Gregory Christie, who is a fantastic Coretta Scott King Award-winning illustrator. I just am in awe of his work. I love working with him because I write things and then I see what he puts to it, and he's a historian unto himself because I'll write all of these things, but then the layers in the illustrations tell you so much more about the time that aren't in the words necessarily.
Yeah.
So it's really a beautiful and fun collaboration. So yeah, I'll read a little bit.
Thank you.
This is Saving the Day, Garrett Morgan's life-changing invention of the traffic signal. Morning dawned, and the sun's golden rays signaled to Garrett Morgan that it was a new day. With his head in the clouds, always full of a dream, he was no help to others, or so it seemed. His brothers and sisters worked the house and the field, but Garrett's talents had yet to be revealed. Oops, get over here. There it is. He'd spend time alone, long walks he would take, his mind imagining new creations to make. In the middle of the road, a wheel lay on the ground. I know I can use that. So Garrett bent down. But sometimes his dreaming got him into trouble. He wouldn't watch where he was going, his mind in a bubble. See, along came a car, from the side a red truck, and though they missed Garrett, their nerves had been struck. Both slammed on their brakes, dodged the boy by a hair, but the near collision gave everyone a scare. Back at home, his mom said, "You wait here for your dad." He just knew he was in trouble, that his parents were mad. You have a great mind, imaginative, keen, ready to create new from what has not yet been seen. Yes, you have a great mind, but could do even more. A tutor in the city could help your dreams soar. This decision was hard. We don't want you away, but it's for your own good. You'll understand one day. Then Garrett's mother pulled him close and she said, "But always remember this, son. Keep this in your head. While Ruth's good at fishing and Will loves to bake, Lucille loves the stars and the patterns they make. And you too, son, have something that's all yours alone, something to contribute that's just not yet known. All are given a gift, something you cannot learn. It's what you do with that gift that's your gift in return." The city was loud, people everywhere, and cars and horses and bicycles were there, all on the same roads, all at the same time, horns honking, cars crashing, no reason or rhyme. Garrett studied hard, and when his lessons were done, he found a job doing something he found fun, fixing sewing machines with their rotors and springs and gears and buttons made him think of many things. His mind churned and churned with new ideas to invent. Some drew attention, some helped pay the rent. The day's early dawn signaled Garrett to wake. He decided to walk, a scenic route he would take. The grass, sparkling green, had just been cut low. Garrett longed to run through it. He decided to go. But just as he started, a white car whizzed past, heading for the crosswalk and going quite fast. Then he heard tires screech and someone yell, "Stop!" A horse and carriage were approaching. He could hear the hooves clop. But the horse kept on going, didn't even slow down. Garrett ran fast to warn them, but soon heard the sound. First a crash, then a boom, then the horse whinnied high. When Garrett finally got there, he tried not to cry. Though everyone was okay and the horse would be all right, he'd seen too many wrecks. It was a terrible sight. There has to be some way to let drivers know that someone else is approaching, when to stop and to go. But as Garrett wandered home, ideas in his head flowing, he forgot to pay attention to just where he was going. He stepped off the curb. The bike signaled, no doubt. He saw a bright light and then he went out. His mind was filled with colorful light, on and then off. What a beautiful sight. The green of the grass, illuminated by sun, shone bright and invited Garrett to run. Golden light through the window eased in the morning. A new day was beginning. It was a subtle warning. The red glow of the coals, far too hot to touch, told Garrett to stop. One more move was too much. His mind was racing, ideas twisted and nodded. Then he suddenly jumped up and exclaimed, "I've got it!" A traffic signal. That's what he'd create, so all could travel safely. Yes, it'd be great. The red, yellow, and green would come along later, but it was Garrett's foundation that made us all safer. Garrett had a gift. Yes, that is a fact. But what meant the most was that he gave back. The end.
Karyn, that is amazing.
Thank you.
We're running short of time. I love that. I need to know whose story are you telling next? Because Garrett and Bessie are amazing. Where are you going next? Whose story do we need to know?
Oh, there are so many. And I think every day seems like somebody's writing me and telling me a story I haven't heard. I have a couple contenders right now. I don't want to say which ones they are, but they are, needless to say, they are remarkable people. And I can hardly wait to get moving on one of these stories in the next week, actually, to start getting it moving. I mean, I've been researching both of them, but one of them I'm going to start writing next week.
Well, that is a wonderful mystery, and I can't wait to find out which story you tell next, because they're wonderfully important. So
Thank you. They really are, and I'm glad you appreciate them, and thank you for the opportunity to share them today.
Karyn, thank you so very, very much. Next up, we're joined by P.J. Tierney. She is the author of numerous books, including the Jamie Rain Trio, The Lost Soul, The Hidden Dragon, The Last Spirit Warrior. But she is here to talk about one of her newest books, Hamish the Hedgehog, The Kitchen Critter. PJ, welcome.
Hey, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's wonderful to have you here. I loved your book. This was so much fun, so beautiful.
Great. Thank you.
So very quickly, what made you think about centering a story around a hedgehog?
Yeah. Actually, my editor said to me, "Why Hamish?" It's a little challenging to say, and I can give you the pronunciation. It's Hamish. I said, well, it is the name of my real hedgehog. So I have a hedgehog, an African pygmy hedgehog named Hamish, and he's adorable. And hedgehogs are nocturnal. So for those who are unaware, that means that when we are awake, they are sleeping. So he is sleeping, and he's lovely. Hedgehogs, I feel, are really underrated. And a lot of people know Sonic. Sonic is nothing like a real hedgehog. So it came from, my background is cookbooks and recipes, and I love getting kids involved, but I have found that children's cookbooks intimidate me. I'll look at a photo of the finished recipe and it's beautifully styled and photographed. And then even with my experience, I cook it, it's not going to resemble that. So of course, children are not engaged. So then I just came up with the idea of writing a storybook cookbook, and it's one of the first out there. So the story of Hamish can stand on its own. It's his adventures with his woodland friends. And then there are recipes dispersed throughout the book. That's the storybook cookbook. So as the child grows and their parents can assist, they can get in the kitchen and cook what Hamish is eating and what Hamish is cooking with Grandma Nolan in the second book. Ashwa Varhar is a fabulous illustrator, and I was so lucky to get paired up with her because it's just a joy. It's a wonderful collaboration. And she's very whimsical, like myself. I have a sense of humor that I was thankful she picked up on. We have hidden cats throughout the book. So I invite everyone not only to read the book and cook the recipes, but to find hopefully a cat or two within the pages. I also have a cat named Buddy, and my Hamish is good friends with Buddy. And I know that's hard to believe, but if you go to Hamish has an Instagram, Hamish underscore the hedgehog, you will see photos of Hamish and Buddy together. You will not see the real Hamish cooking in the kitchen. That is not something that is possible. So there definitely is a beautiful imagination with these books. But the real Hamish loves to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So you will see a lot of photos of the real Hamish eating. And the vet has told me he needs to go on a diet.
Ah.
So you will notice that some of the newer shots of foods are actually fake food because he can't control himself. You put a real donut in front of him, he just dives in.
Well, I was hoping we could meet Hamish today, but I understand that he's sleeping.
He's not happy if you get him up before the afternoon. But there is a video of me out there that you can find for the OC festival where I had Hamish.
Yeah. Well, he's such a wonderful character, but I love the recipes you have. And, again, this is a STEAM race to space. Cooking is a form of science, right? It's a form of math.
100%. And I would actually say baking is the ultimate science because unlike just following a normal recipe, baking, if you are off by some of the ingredients like the baking powder, you're not going to get the results that you're hoping for. So there's a little bit more leeway with a recipe that is not a baking recipe, meaning most likely a dessert or a cake, where you really have to be precise.
Mm-hmm. It's a chemistry set you can eat.
Yeah, it's the best kind. It truly is. Also, hand-eye coordination. Everything about following a recipe is so important. And here's the best part of it. If you have a picky eater, if they make it, they're more likely to eat it. So getting kids in the kitchen and cooking, it's so wonderful for families. It's fun activity, and it's just delicious.
Well, even for picky eaters, you had some great recipes in there. Which one was your favorite when you were writing this book? I know mine.
That's a tough one, but it's kind of the one I make the most is the very berry muffins.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a snack or it's a great breakfast. And I also freeze them. So whenever you need them, you can just grab them. It's a wonderful mixture of recipes. We have one of the best recipe testers. I'm going to give her a shout out, Deb Murray. And we really make sure that the recipes are at a level that kids of all ages with assistance can follow the instructions. We also have, vegetarian, actually a vegan option in one of them, which someone said to me, I don't know if kids are going to like that. Well, when you make it and you taste the burger, you're not going to, it's delicious. It's a lentil mushroom veggie burger and it's really delicious. They're all ingredients that you can find wherever you are in the world, and they're quick and easy.
Well, the next two that I'm making, crunchy baked asparagus.
Oh, that's great. And if you have an air fryer, so perfect.
And chocolate cake with vanilla frosting.
Yeah.
Those are the two I'm making next.
Hopefully there's more than just you and your wife, because when you do make the chocolate cake, it will be around and it's very hard to refrain from going back for more.
I have a teenage son. We'll have no problems taking care of that. PJ, I would love to hear a little of your book.
Okay, I'd love to. So it's kind of interesting. There are 2 now in the Hamish the Hedgehog series, and there's more on the way. And then I was like, well, what am I going to read? Because they stand alone.
Mhm.
As each book stands alone from the recipes, but the first book in the series, which is The Kitchen Critter, it really introduces readers to Hamish and his friends in the forest. So I thought I would read a little bit of an introduction from that and then segue just into a couple of pages from the second book in the series, if you don't mind, which is Cooking Classes. So let me read and get a drink. So, Hamish the Hedgehog. Hamish the Hedgehog taught himself to make baskets using twigs he found around his forest home. He's very talented, Hamish.
Hmm.
One morning, while picking berries, Hamish smelled something sweet, and he couldn't resist following this delicious smell to a house at the edge of the woods. Oh, going the wrong way. Hamish walked towards the house and stood on a tree stump. Through the window, he saw a kitchen table set for breakfast. Hamish walked back into the woods, leaving his basket of berries behind. Oh no. The next day, Hamish found a basket of berry muffins with a recipe on the tree stump. How Hamish wished he knew how to cook. He had never eaten berry muffins, and they looked delicious. And then we have a 2-page spread of the very berry muffin recipe. So the recipe is written out, easy to follow steps, and then every ingredient is illustrated facing the recipe. They're really charming illustrations. Hamish returned to the house and left a basket full of strawberries with a thank you note on the tree stump. Thank you for the delicious muffins. I don't have a kitchen, so thank you for baking for me, Hamish, with his adorable paw print. Each morning, Hamish left a basket of something from the forest and returned to the woods with a basket of something delicious. The family would wait at the window, watching and smiling. I don't know why I'm having such problems here. And then there's a recipe for strawberry cupcakes, which are also delicious. I have to say, all of the recipes. And then we give options because we do try to reduce the sugar in the recipes. So we'll say something like, for sweeter cupcakes, add 1 tablespoon of strawberry jam. And I think that's important to parents to know that the recipes have really gone through a check. Everyone loved the cupcakes. So Hamish would bring back all of the treats to his friends. And his friends are just so charming.
Mhm.
And then the second book is Hamish Cooking Classes, because Hamish gets invited by Grandma Nolan to come and learn how to cook. And this book really is an introduction to cooking for kids, and it opens up with safety tips for the kids, including wear closed-toe shoes to protect your toes from slips, spills, or drop pots. Don't wear long, loose sleeves that can hang over the stove while cooking. Wear an apron to protect your clothes from spills. Always use pot holders when handling pots and pans. Tie up your hair so it doesn't fall into the food you are preparing. And then it gets to, now let's make lunch. Always read the entire recipe and gather all the ingredients before you begin. Hamish was having problems reaching the cabinets for the ingredients and stirring the big bowl. Grandma Nolan invited Hamish to bring a friend to the next class, someone taller to assist him. The poor little guy, he can't reach the cabinets. And he's even standing on a teacup and he's just too small. And then one of the delicious ones, the recipes in this book, is the macaroni and cheese.
Well, PJ, I know I am starving now. That sounds so amazing. Thank you. Thank you. We have run short of time. That is fantastic. Everyone needs to go grab the exploits of Hamish in the kitchen. It's wonderful
Thank
storytelling.
you for having me. And my publisher is really excited that a book and a kid's apron is one of the rewards for the challenges. So they're really sweet, has Hamish on it, and it fits all sizes because it's adjustable and machine washable. So please get out there and read any book and get in the kitchen if you can and learn to cook, because it's a great family activity and delicious.
I wish I could win that. Thank you.
I'll send you one. They have an adult one too. I'll get you one. I promise.
Well, I do want to bring back Karyn, and I also want to invite in Pat Burns. She is the co-founder and director of the Orange County Children's Book Festival. Pat, welcome.
Hi. Thank you so much, Chris. And my goodness, Karyn and PJ, what great books you've written. And just love how animated you were with the reading and enjoying and sharing your great stories. Thank you so much. But my quick message, super quick, is to blast off a sweet message to all the students to just jump into this reading challenge. You've got 3 weeks to finish it. And because we got tremendous out of this world prizes. So it'll be really great. And we're just happy that you're joining us. So I'm going to throw it back to Chris and keep reading, everybody.
Thank you so very, very much. So everyone, blast off, read as many great books. Pick up these books because they are amazing, and take part of this reading challenge and love reading, because it is an amazing, magical world that just opens up all new types of possibilities. So thank you. Karyn, PJ, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day.